If you've spent any time on YouTube lately, you've probably seen a video claiming that mixing sand, hydrated lime, and plain white vinegar creates a substance stronger than concrete, supposedly a secret Dutch technique from 1627 that the cement industry has been hiding for 2 centuries. It sounds incredible. It even sounds plausible if you don't have a chemistry background, because it references real history, real names, and real numbers mixed in with completely fabricated claims. My name is Frank, and I have a background in materials science, and I want to walk you through exactly why this trend is not just wrong, it's potentially dangerous if you actually try to build something structural with it. The video claims you can create a material with a compressive strength of 20 to 45 megapascals, using nothing but pantry ingredients, and 48 hours, matching or exceeding standard concrete blocks. Let's go through the actual chemistry, the actual historical record, and what real peer-reviewed research says about ancient concrete, because the truth is honestly more interesting than the myth. Here's the central claim in these videos, that vinegar reacting with hydrated lime and sand produces calcium acetate, which then supposedly converts into hard calcium carbonate crystals as it dries, creating stone. The first part is technically true. Acetic acid does react with calcium hydroxide to form calcium acetate. That reaction is real basic chemistry taught in any introductory course. But here's what the videos conveniently leave out. Calcium acetate is extremely water-soluble, dissolving at roughly 37 grams per 100 milliliters of water at room temperature, according to the CRC Handbook of Chemistry and Physics, one of the standard reference sources used in chemistry labs worldwide. That means instead of creating a hard, water-resistant structure, you're creating a salt that washes away with the first rain or even just humidity in the air. Real carbonation, the process where calcium hydroxide slowly absorbs atmospheric carbon dioxide and converts into calcium carbonate, does happen in traditional lime mortars, but it's a process that takes months to years to fully penetrate a structure, not 48 hours. This is documented extensively in research published by the National Lime Association and in studies from the University of Bath's Center for Innovative and Collaborative Construction Engineering, which has spent over a decade studying lime mortar carbonation rates in historic buildings. The video borrows real history to sound credible, so let's look at what actually happened. Roman maritime concrete, the kind found in structures like the harbor at Caesarea, did become stronger over time in seawater, and this was genuinely studied and confirmed in a 2017 paper published in American Mineralogist by researchers including Marie Jackson from the University of Utah. The real mechanism involves volcanic ash, called pozzolana, reacting with seawater to form a mineral called aluminous tobermorite, which grows and reinforces the structure over centuries. This has nothing to do with vinegar. The Dutch, similarly, did use a volcanic material called trass, imported from the Eifel region near the Rhine in Germany, mixed with lime to create hydraulic mortars capable of setting underwater. This is documented in Dutch engineering archives and referenced in academic work on historic Dutch hydraulic engineering, published through Delft University of Technology. Trass works because it's a natural pozzolan, meaning it contains reactive silica and alumina that chemically bond with lime to form genuinely water-resistant compounds, similar to how modern fly ash or silica fume are used in concrete today. Neither the Romans nor the Dutch were using vinegar as a hardening agent. That detail simply does not exist in the historical or archaeological record, and no credible source, including the Rijksmuseum archives or Dutch guild records referenced in serious academic translations, supports that claim. Let's talk about the actual strength numbers being claimed, because this is where the video falls apart under basic scrutiny. Standard concrete block, according to ASTM C90, the American standard specification for load-bearing concrete masonry units, requires a minimum compressive strength of 13.1 megapascals, with typical commercial blocks reaching 17 to 28 megapascals depending on mix design. Producing a material in that strength range requires controlled particle packing, a properly graded aggregate, and a binding matrix that doesn't dissolve in water, none of which a home mixed sand, lime, and vinegar slurry can reliably provide, especially given that your primary bonding compound is water-soluble. There has been no published, peer-reviewed materials science study, not one, showing that vinegar-activated lime and sand achieves anything close to structural concrete strength. If this method genuinely worked as described, it would be an enormous breakthrough covered by journals like Cement and Concrete Research or Construction and Building Materials, both of which are actively publishing research on genuinely promising alternative binders, like geopolymer concrete studied extensively by RMIT University in Australia, which does show real documented compressive strengths comparable to Portland cement, using industrial byproducts like fly ash and slag, activated with alkaline solutions, not vinegar. So why does a claim like this spread so effectively? Content like this works because it combines a kernel of real chemistry, real historical references, and a satisfying narrative about hidden knowledge and corporate suppression, which makes it feel like you're uncovering a secret rather than being misled. The global cement industry is indeed large. The U.S. Geological Survey's 2023 Mineral Commodity Summary reports domestic cement production valued at roughly $17 billion, so the economic scale referenced in these videos is at least directionally accurate. But scale doesn't equal conspiracy. Portland cement dominates construction because it's genuinely reliable, standardized, tested according to strict codes, and its failure modes are well understood by engineers, which is exactly why building codes worldwide require it or equivalent tested materials for anything structural. Suggesting that a viral pantry recipe replaces decades of materials engineering isn't empowering. It's setting people up to build something that could fail without warning. If you want an affordable, DIY-friendly, and genuinely time-tested alternative to Portland cement for small garden projects, real lime mortar is worth learning about. Traditional lime putty mortar, made from properly slaked lime and sand in a roughly 1:3 ratio, has been used for centuries and is documented extensively by organizations like the National Trust in the UK for restoring historic stonework. It does carbonate and harden, just slowly, over weeks and months, not 2 days, and it works best for non-load-bearing applications like pointing stone walls or garden features, not fence posts or retaining walls carrying real structural load. If you're building anything load-bearing, like a retaining wall, a fence post footing, or a patio that needs to support real weight over years, use tested, code-compliant materials, standard concrete mix or mortar mix from a hardware store, mixed according to the manufacturer's actual specifications. It costs more than vinegar and lime, but it's engineered, tested, and predictable, and that predictability is exactly what keeps a wall standing or a post from shifting during frost heave. Before trying any viral construction hack, check whether it's been tested by a university materials science department or referenced in an actual engineering journal, not just a YouTube video with dramatic music and historical name-dropping. If this video helped you spot the difference between real science and viral pseudoscience, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments if you've seen this sand and vinegar trend. I'd love to know how far it's spread. See you in the next one.